Welcome to our channel. My name is Ibuko, and here today you have Wumi. She's my guest. And today we'll be sharing our experiences about birthing abroad.
Birth in a different province and she gave birth in another province. And so she's here to talk to us about how it went down in her own province. I gave birth in Alberta. She gave birth in what province was it? Ontario,
yeah.
yes. So she's going to tell us how the process was like, hospital, the birthing, the documents she got, and how she was able to come down back to Nigeria. We are actually in Nigeria now, in
Yes,
Abuja to be
Abuja.
precise. All right, over to you.
So I think in Canada, every provinces has their own laws or rules and regulations. So what you will likely go through in Ontario is quite different from what you will go through in Saskatchewan or Alberta or British Columbia. So in my own case,
At what point did you give birth? How many months
okay,
did you
when
stay?
when I got into Canada,
Mhm.
my uncle stays in Brampton, and they took me to a family doctor.
Okay.
I got a family doctor. God bless him. He's also a Nigerian. So he referred me to the gynecologist I used, who is
Oh.
also a Nigerian doctor.
Oh wow.
So the I paid I think we paid about $200 or $120. I
Is it
can't
for
remember,
consultation
for
for
consultation
seeing
for seeing the family
a
doctor
doctor
who would
first?
refer you.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So he referred me to the gynecologist, and I was in the waiting list for
Are you
30
serious?
days.
Eh?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
So I got to Canada when I was 31 or 32 weeks pregnant, thereabout. So yeah. So I was on the wait list for about 30 days.
Wow.
Yes. So they asked, the doctor called me and asked if my pregnancy was high risk or low
Okay,
risk.
okay.
I told him it was just a normal
So that means
pregnancy.
you went with some of your results or
Yes, I
from
went
here.
to okay. I went with I did a proper and detailed test and
Okay.
scan and everything about my pregnancy before I left Nigeria. But trust me, when we got to Canada, they said I should repeat everything.
Wow.
So I repeated all my scans, all my blood tests, all my blood work. I repeated
How was the
everything.
cost like in total?
I cannot remember, but I know that for blood work it was around 200 or 300. I can't remember. Then
Okay.
for all my scans, there was a time I had to repeat the scan. They said they saw something. They were not sure that I should repeat it. For the scan, I spent about 500 or 600 just because I repeated the scan. So
Okay.
if I had
Okay.
not repeated it, it would have been maybe 300 or
Okay.
250.
Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. Wow. Okay, so after you saw the doctor 30 days after,
Yeah.
what did they do? They told you to go for a test and all that. And
Okay,
then,
when I saw the family, let me take you back. When I saw the
yeah.
family doctor, he he gave me a requisition letter to go do the test. I had already done the test. So after
Oh,
doing the test and the blood work, I sent it back to the family doctor. No, I
okay.
didn't send it back. The way Canada works, it's not like you collect your test results. No. So they
Um,
sent the lab I went for the test sent
results.
the results back to the family doctor. Then the family doctor
Okay.
sent the results to the gynecologist. Yeah,
Oh,
so I didn't have access to my result
yeah.
at all. No, no,
But
no,
did
no.
you at some point ask them if all was
Yes,
well?
I asked. I asked if everything. When I saw the gynecologist, I asked if everything was okay, and he said
Said it was
yes.
okay. Okay.
So I started seeing my gynecologist for every appointment. So I
What was the space interval for appointment? A week, two
for it
weeks?
was so I started seeing him at, I told you I waited for like 30 days. That's like
Yeah.
4 weeks. So for every appointment I was paying, I think $100 or so,
Wow.
and for um 2 weeks until I got to 39 weeks. I started seeing him every week.
Well, I think you really stayed long in
I
Canada.
said
Ah, you
long.
enjoyed. In total, how many months was it in
I
total?
got to Canada July 31st, and I left ending of November.
That's like August, September, October,
But you
November.
also stayed long.
I think 3 months. I did three
3 months,
months. Yes.
July,
I think
August,
yours was four
September.
months.
I think 4 months. Yes,
Yes.
4 months. I
So,
mean,
oh,
how was the
was
experience in Canada? Did you enjoy it?
yeah, I did. You know, I went to two provinces.
Oh yeah, yeah,
From
yeah.
Alberta, I went to Toronto,
Ontario,
Ontario.
Ontario.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
yes,
was.
yes,
I
yes.
knew I enjoyed myself. I
Yes, I
did.
also enjoyed myself. I enjoyed summer. I enjoyed
Yeah,
fall
a bit of
season.
fall
Then
season.
no, I enjoyed fall very
Oh,
well. I enjoyed
good. What
fall.
about winter?
A bit of winter before I left.
I did see the
You
winter.
didn't see
Yeah, I
snow
think I
at
saw
all.
a bit of fall.
Did
I
you,
did see snow.
me, I saw. I also enjoyed. I toured around. I went to
Also,
Toronto. I went to Ottawa. I
oh,
went to Oshawa. I went to a couple of
wow,
places too.
wow, that's
Yes.
great. That's great. So, what was the birthing experience like? Hey,
Hmm.
the deal, Gaga, the real deal.
One thing I keep telling people is that for my own birth experience, I would choose my doctor and my nurses over and
No,
over and
thank
over
God.
again.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful experience
Aww.
for me, and everything I told God I wanted came to pass. You know that in Canada they charge per day.
Yes, yes, yes,
They charge
yes,
per day. So
yes,
I
yes.
told God that I wanted my baby to come in the early hours of the day so that by evening they
You
would
read the
just like you. I think I copied your own.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that was what happened. That was what happened. I
Wow.
gave birth around 4:30, and by evening I was
Oh,
okay. The
that's
betting
beautiful.
experience it was awesome.
What was your service like? The hospital, the
They
nurses,
were good. My doctor, mwah,
and
the
the
nurses, mwah, the pediatric nurses,
oh, so
the gbogbo, they were very very good. I had a very easy delivery. I had epidural.
yeah,
My anesthesiologist,
yeah.
was also very good. I was lucky he poked me
Hmm.
just once, and
At the
in
back, right?
yes, at the back, and in less than 7 minutes
You had
it
your
started working. No, it
yeah.
started the epidural started working, so I
Okay.
didn't feel anything. And there's one thing I want to say, guys. Take epidural.
Are you serious?
Like it took my pain from 100 to like 5. I'm telling you, take take
Are you
epidural. I
kidding?
am telling you.
So there's this thing. I don't know if it's a myth or is a fact that epidural, when it wears off, after a while you start to feel the pain. It leaves you. It doesn't live forever. What do you
For
feel?
me,
I think that's the fear that people have about
to be
epidural.
honest, for before I heard so much about epidural. I heard it causes headache. I
Okay.
heard it causes back pain
Yeah.
and a lot of things. But for me, it didn't cause
Oh, that's
anything.
great.
Nothing, nothing. The only thing was obviously where they injected me like maybe a day or two. I had just back pain there, and
Wow.
after then, since then, no back pain, no headache, nothing, nothing. The only thing was that I felt like the epidural slowed down my pushing process. I
Okay.
got to the hospital at around 7 cm dilated already, and
Wow.
I took the epidural out. Even the nurses were like, it's okay. If you want it, it's okay, but I feel you are close and you might not need it. But
Uh,
I said, I
I
need
want.
it. So I was already 8 cm there about
Wow.
when I took the epidural, and I was close. Even if they had already set up the room, and the
Wow.
doctor was there. But I pushed for like 2 3 hours. Yes.
Oh, that's all. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I pushed for like 2 3 hours. So I feel, I'm not sure, but I feel it was the epidural that made
Wow.
my pushing process that long, because I told you wouldn't really feel the pain. You
Yeah.
would feel this is it force, like a pressure, yes, not pain. You feel
Oh,
like a
okay.
pressure. So I maybe not, but
Okay.
because I was already 8 cm, I don't think
Oh,
there's any
that's
reason why my
interesting.
pushing should take
Yeah.
that long. Yeah, but then I'll take epidural
All over
over
again.
and over again.
Okay, so did the water break or how did
No,
what
no, 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 no.
happened
My water didn't break.
that day?
Okay. Labor. My labor started around 7 p.m. and I didn't know it was labor.
Okay, it
I
was
was just feeling something around my tummy. It was paining me, but it was bearable. So I
okay.
told you I stayed with my uncle. I didn't want
Yeah.
to cause any false alarm or something. So I was still waiting for a very serious pain. When they say
Labor
labor, you won't
pain.
be able to do anything again. But when it got to around 9 10, the pain was now intense.
Wow.
So I told my uncle, and we called the hospital, and the hospital asked me about the interval which the contractions were.
Yeah.
So I told them like 3 5 minutes. I said, wow, you're close. Do you want to come to the hospital? I gave it in Orangeville, and my uncle
Okay.
stays in Brampton, about 13 minutes from
13.
30 minutes
30,
journey.
okay.
So they asked where I was. I told them Brampton, and they said if you cannot make it to Brampton, you can go to the nearest
Oh, okay.
hospital. I told them I will make it. I will make it. So that was how we left for Orangeville. We got there around to 11
Wow.
thereabouts. Ah, guys, there's something about abroad. I
Yeah.
got in. Everybody took me through the emergency entrance,
Yeah.
and it
Very
was just
fast.
very fast, very very
Wow.
fast, and they just took me in. They called me, so I called the hospital. You know, you have your own doctor, so the
Yeah.
hospital called my doctor. So before I
Oh.
got to the hospital, I'd already met my doctor on ground.
Oh,
And then
that's
I told
great.
the doctor that I wanted epidural. They had
Oh.
also called the anesthesiologist. Everybody was waiting for me.
Oh,
The
that's
princess.
that's great. So that's like a birthing plan. You already had a pet plan
Yes,
with
with my
your
doctor.
doctor.
Yes, I had the blood plan with my doctor.
That's great.
Then there's something I also want to share. You know that, okay, I think you gave birth the day you got to Canada,
No, 2 days
two
after.
days after. So for visitors like us, you should have your own doctor.
Okay.
So it's your family doctor that would
Yes.
refer you to the doctor you can't just
Yes.
bash into any doctor
Yes.
except
It's
for
an
emergency
emergency.
cases, just
Yeah.
like
Just
Umi's
like
own.
my
Yeah.
I was just rushed into the hospital, and I like the fact that they attended to me
They
on
would
time.
definitely attend to you if it's an
And
emergency
yeah,
situation.
yeah. Okay, so now after you gave birth, what was it like raising your taking care of your child? In a it's not so totally a strange land because you had family around, but
Okay.
it's not the same when you're in Nigeria. You have a whole village to help
Mm.
you raise a child. So what was it like being there, taking care of baby as a new mom in
Mm.
a foreign country?
Hey
Was it
guys,
strange?
enjoy pregnancy. Because the moment you give birth like this, everything will just change.
Hmm.
So when I got home in the hospital, they were still taking care of me now. So when I got home, reality setting. God bless my uncle. God
Oh,
bless my
God bless
auntie.
them.
God bless my uncle, my
God bless
cousins. God
them.
bless you guys. They were
Amazing.
amazing.
Awesome. Awesome.
But you see, motherhood, it will humble you. You see, the first 6 weeks, there was a day I looked at my baby like, and I was like, I think I want to run away.
Yeah.
It was crazy. You
Mm.
know, like the baby would just wake up in the midnight and start crying like 4 times, 5 times before daybreak. And I'll be like, what is making this girl cry? It's crazy. The first 6 weeks, but what I can tell you is that it will get better. My baby
Yeah.
is now 5 months, and trust me, she sleeps well
Yeah.
all through the night now. She sleeps very, very well.
That's great. That's great.
And for pregnancy, the whole pregnancy journey, the most difficult for me was breastfeeding. I find breastfeeding very, very difficult. My pregnancy was normal. I was sick the first 3 months. After then I was okay. It's just the normal pregnancy
Yeah.
symptoms everybody have. But you see, breastfeeding, I don't like it.
Mm.
No, it wasn't easy for me.
Hmm. Okay. So, just hold that thought. We'll talk about it. But
Okay.
before then, I want to say something that if you're going to be traveling out of the country to give birth anywhere, we feel
Okay.
that you should have family or friends.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't be alone. Or what do you agree with this?
Yes.
Because you will
Don't
need
be
the
alone.
support of friends or family or a community, people around
Yes.
you, especially if it's your first time,
Mm.
right? So
I
that's
also
it.
know that people get nannies. If you do not have any
Yes,
family or friend,
just get a
you can
nanny.
also get a nanny.
Yes,
People do that as
exactly.
well.
So, do you want to talk about the breastfeeding?
For me, the breastfeeding, I don't know. I actually produce a lot of breast milk,
Yeah,
but it was just painful for me, too painful. And then at the point, my baby refused to latch directly, so I have to pump. The fact that you have to wake up thinking about how
yeah,
what to pumping is actually very draining. So
yeah.
even till now, my baby has never taken suck directly. So I pump maybe once she takes the breast milk, maybe for like 3 minutes, and she removes her mouth. So pumping and all of that, and it's painful, it's draining, it's
Hmm.
time consuming.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So breastfeeding is, how will I say, is a journey on its own too.
So I
Yeah,
want to tell this to mothers. If you see yourself in my own
yeah,
situation, don't don't feel bad.
yeah.
Like my lactation consultant told me in the hospital that fed is best. Whether you are
Exactly.
breastfeeding or you are
Yes.
giving your baby formula, they would
Exactly.
advise you to give your baby breast milk.
Yeah.
But if breast milk is not coming forth, or if baby is not latching, don't even
Yeah.
don't disturb yourself. So far your baby is eating
And it's
and
fair.
your baby
Yeah.
is good. That's all.
I totally agree with that.
Yes,
Okay.
because a lot of people. There was when I came into Nigeria. The second day I went to the hospital to give my immunization, and one woman saw me bottle feeding my baby, and she was like, "Why are you bottle feeding your baby? Why not breast milk?" I said, "It's breast milk. So why not feed her directly? Why do you have to give her breast milk through bottle?" And I was like, "Madam, mind your business." You know, concern you. I mean, you can't love my child
Yes,
more than I do.
yeah, true,
So,
true.
eh.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's now talk about documentation.
Okay.
So the reason why people go and give birth abroad is to have that
That pali.
that pali for the child. So what was it like getting a document in Ontario province?
Okay, for me, it was, I don't know about Alberta, but it was quite easy for me.
Okay.
So when I got home, I applied for the first thing you apply for is a birth
Yeah.
certificate. So they will give you some document in the hospital. It has one
Yes.
number like that. So
Yes.
that is what you use to apply for a birth certificate. Just go online. For Ontario was Ontario. I just searched for Ontario birth certificate. That was what
Yeah.
I did. So and you fill all the form, that's all, and you pay a token of maybe, as at then, I don't know about now, it was I think $24 or $25 that we paid, and that was all in about 6 days time, 6 working days.
You brought this
They
birth
brought it to my
certificate.
house. Yeah, they delivered to the house.
Okay, so for our butter, when we're leaving the hospital, it's just the similar thing. We had some document that we're given and a number, very similar. And then we applied for the birth certificate online using the number we're given in the
Was it mine
hospital.
was Ontario birth certificate? What was yours?
Was Alberta birth
Birth certificate. So I
certificate.
think it depends on your province. Maybe if it
Yes.
was Saskatchewan, you would have just say Saskatchewan
Saskatchewan
birth.
birth
Yeah.
certificate.
Okay.
So the birth certificate came in, it was delivered to the house
Yeah.
like few days after, like you said. So now the process of getting the child's international
So
passports, how was
when
it
you
like?
get, you can't get your child's international
Yeah.
passport without the birth certificate.
Yes, yes.
So I took the birth certificate to Service Ontario.
See this thing recorded. Yes.
So
Okay.
you will join Abby.
Hmm.
Okay. So I took the baby's birth certificate to Service Ontario.
Okay.
So when we got to Service Ontario,
Mm-hmm.
was it Service Ontario or Service Canada? I'm not sure, either of the two.
Okay.
So I got there and they would give you, you tell them you want your passport, your baby's passport. So you fill the form. Then,
Do you remember how
before
much was
then,
paid?
sorry, before
Yeah.
then, you take your baby's passport. You didn't take your baby's
Like
passport?
photograph.
Photograph,
Yeah, I
yes,
did. I
you did.
did.
Okay,
At
very,
Walmart.
very, very important.
Yeah.
Yes, and if you are going, don't wear white for your baby because of the background. They
Yeah.
take every other colors except white outfit and I think
Yeah.
black outfit as well.
Yeah.
So we took a photo. What's it called?
Photograph.
Photograph. So
Passport. Yeah.
passport. Yes, they will sign at the back.
Yes.
So I took it to Service. I don't know if it was Service Ontario or Service Canada, either of the
Mm-hmm.
two. So we took it there, and that was all. We paid for fast track. You would pay about
I think it
$76.
was about the same thing.
Yes, and if it's the normal process, you pay about 50 something dollar. Mine came out in less than 3 weeks.
Good.
So they would, for people that their husbands are abroad, like if your husband is not in Canada at that time, they would give you a number.
Yeah.
So you give send the number to your husband, and your husband would take the number to Canada embassy in that country, depending on the country your
The
husband
husband
is.
is,
That was
yeah.
what happened in my own case. My husband took the number
Number.
to, you book an appointment, then you take the number. He took the number to Canada embassy in Abuja. So I think it's just a consent form. Like,
Oh,
I'm
that's
consent. This is my I'm the father of this child. Yes, because there's a place the father would sign. He will sign in Nigeria.
oh,
He
when he
signed in Nigeria.
signed, was
Yeah,
it now sent back to you?
I don't no
You
no.
don't know.
It was
Oh, between
between
them.
them,
Oh,
Nigeria and
good.
Canada.
How long did
Yes,
it take for him? Was it rigorous
it was
thing or
just
just
one. It just
easy?
one day.
Oh,
Just one day.
good.
Yes,
That's
he
good.
went and he
Did he have
signed.
to pay? Yeah.
No, he didn't pay. He didn't pay
Okay.
anything.
Oh,
That
that's
was
good.
all.
That's
And they
good.
even called me that my passport was ready.
Nice,
Just telling,
nice.
hello, ma'am. Is this something something, mom? I said yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to tell you that your passport is ready.
Also,
Very easy.
great. Okay, so I think it's similar also. So
Okay.
after we got the birth certificate, we proceeded to Walmart. I think the next day, and we took his photograph,
Okay.
passport photograph. I think they have a particular size for
Yes,
international
yes, yes,
passport.
yes. When
Yeah.
you get to the
Yes.
photographer's office, just
Yeah.
tell them that you want to take picture for
Yeah.
passports.
I
They
think it
know
was
what to
around
do.
$100 or so that we
Oh, mine
paid
was
for.
twenty
Was it
dollars.
20? I don't
Mine
even
was
know if it was up to
mine was
100.
even
I
19.
can't remember. Okay,
Mine was
so
19.
after we took that, we went to Service, I think Service Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. And then we applied for his international passport. Fast track, $7.
Yeah.
I did 2 weeks. Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
It came out.
For the
So,
whole birth certificate and passport, everything took about 27 days.
oh yeah,
Yes,
that's
for me
good.
it was
That's
very
good.
fast. Yeah.
So, I think after one gets the international passport, the next thing would be the okay, when you want to come back.
I know people don't want to do this. You don't actually have to get your baby's passport in Canada.
Yeah,
You
sure.
can also get your baby's passport in the country you reside in. So just
Yes,
go to Canada embassy and
and they will
apply for
give
the
you.
passport. Yes.
That's
So far
true.
you have your baby's birth certificate.
Yes,
Yes.
that's
But I
true.
know people don't want to do
No, they don't want to
that.
take chances. This is why I
I
came here. I must go back
don't
with it. That's the truth. Because then again, if you want to now fly back, you will need something like a piece of ID for the child.
you have the baby's birth certificate.
That's true, and that can
Yes.
fly you.
Yes.
So, what did you get to come back to your home country? Like, what documentation?
I don't understand that.
There was a document on visa on an arrival or
Oh, okay.
something
So
like
we
that.
applied when we were coming back. We
Yeah,
applied for
visa
visa
on
on
an
our.
arrival.
Oh, another
Yes,
thing. No matter how small your baby is, you pay for your baby's tickets.
yes, yes,
So we paid.
yes, yes,
I think 10% of what I paid for
yes,
was what I
yes,
paid for my baby. So we applied for visa on arrival before we left Canada. So that visa on arrival, they will ask you at the airport. I don't know if they asked you at the airport.
they did.
So they will ask you at the airport. That was what we flew with to Nigeria.
Yeah,
And when we got to Nigeria, we paid for visa on arrival for my baby because as at then she was still a Canadian.
yeah,
So she came in as a visitor to
yes,
Nigeria. Yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
we paid about I think 280 USD. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing is, with that Canadian passport, I think with US passport, you can go to so many countries.
Okay.
It's on Google. So
Yeah.
for Canadian passport, I think about 189 countries
Yes.
without visa, and there
Without
are some
visa.
countries
Mm.
with visa on arrival. So
Yes,
for
like
Nigeria,
Nigeria.
for
Yeah.
instance, for your own country, you can find out yours might not you might not need visa on arrival, but for
Yes.
Nigeria,
Yeah, we
there's
have
a
to pay
need
for
for
visa
visa on
on arrival.
arrival. And the
Yes.
reason we are putting this out there is that we probably know that some people might not know. Okay, we just give birth and we are going back home, but
Mm.
you need that
Yeah,
document,
you do.
right?
You need that
But
document.
recently I heard that you can also apply for ETA, electronic transfer authorization, more like an emergency transfer for the child to come back home.
Oh, okay.
But
I've
please
never
make
heard
sure
of
you do
that.
your due
Yes,
diligence
please. But
before.
your baby's birth certificate is very, very
Yeah.
important.
Yes.
Very, very, very important.
So
And for people that are going, hope you know that you pay for. Except for Wumi, Wumi was lucky. For some of us, you pay for your gynecologist separately. You pay for your anesthesiologist separately. You pay for pediatrician. You pay for everybody separately,
separately.
except for the nurses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I've been getting after that video is that is it that you have to find the doctors from here while you're still in your country, or
For
do you have to get there, or do you get there and then you look for
It depends. You might
yeah.
have a particular doctor in mind from Nigeria. And when you get there, you change the doctor. For me, I didn't have any particular doctor in mind, but I had a particular hospital in mind. And when I got
Okay.
to the hospital, it was too expensive. It was so
Okay.
expensive. Then it was very far from where I stayed. So that was when we now went to the doctor, the family doctor, and he referred me to the doctor I used, and it was very, very affordable.
Okay. All right. So is there any other thing you want to tell our viewers?
Nothing, nothing.
Okay, so I think that we've been able to do justice, especially Boko, do justice on giving birth in Ontario, what the process is
Yes,
like. She has
yes.
covered quite a number of things. I
Mhm.
know some of the questions we've also gotten is immunization.
Oh,
So the thing
okay.
is, if your child is 2 months while you're there, there's a particular immunization child has to get. Did you get
Yeah.
your
No, no, no. I
immunization?
left before she was 2 months.
Okay,
I think I
yeah.
left few days before she was like 2 days before she was two
Okay,
months.
so if
Yeah.
your child is 2 months while you're still there, you get your immunization card and then you get immunization for the child. But make sure that you bring the card back to your home country
Yeah.
so that the child does not repeat that same immunization. So you just follow through with that.
Yes.
So for my, because I was in Alberta and then I left when it was 1 month, we traveled down to Ontario, and so he clocked 2 months in Ontario.
Yeah.
Or he already had a card because they gave us at the hospital an immunization card from Alberta. So when we got to Ontario, we had to now go to an Ontario health center to get immunization. So I presented his Alberta card and it was fine, right? Because it's the same country,
Yeah.
right? So they just did what they checked and said, okay, good. They now gave me, and I asked for another one, Ontario card, so he can have two immunization cards. So they
Okay.
gave him his immunization free of charge, right? Because he's already a Canadian.
Yes. Did
So
you
our
did you get
immunization
did
is
you get
free.
health card for your baby?
Yes, I. Oh, we
Okay.
didn't talk about the health
Yes.
card
Yes.
because insurance. She's going to talk about it. Health insurance is free for citizens there, so he
Yes.
got immunization free of charge at Ontario and all that. That's so. I want
So
to
you
talk
got
about it.
health card for your
Yes.
baby. So for me, I couldn't get health card for my baby because I told you
Provinces are
yeah.
different. Yeah.
So they requested I present a Canadian ID card. So a
Oh,
driver's license would have done the job, but as at then I didn't have. So my baby doesn't have a health card for now. But the
okay.
next time we go, she will have a health card.
No,
Yeah.
definitely. Okay, so what we are trying to explain is there's an health card for every citizen,
Yes,
right?
I'm permanent
And
resident.
permanent resident. So on my own side, I went to the what's the name of this place? Like a federal government place like that.
Okay, okay.
They call it I can't even remember. So we applied for his health card. So what that means is that he can access health care free of
Free
charge
of
as long
charge,
as he has
yes.
that health card.
Health card,
So
yes.
for Alberta province, they don't ask for Canadian means of ID. So
Yeah,
what they
okay.
did was I think they just asked for his birth certificate.
That was
That
wow,
was
very
it.
lucky.
And then they
Because
issued
the
it to him.
hospital told me that okay, in Ontario, the mom is paying separately, the baby is paying
Yeah.
separately. So the hospital told me that if I can bring back my baby's health card within 30 days, they will refund back the money my
Oh,
baby paid. My auntie really tried because we were looking for means
for you to get an
for me,
ID.
yes, but I couldn't. So
Okay,
we just
so
had to let it go. You pay me.
all right. So one final note, one final thought for
okay, that matter.
one final thing you want to say to them. Do you want us to talk about that money they give them, or you should not?
Which money?
You know they're supposed to be getting money as citizens, but because we are not,
Oh, okay. For we are not
there,
taxpayers.
yes,
We
we're
can
not
talk about it because
taxpayers.
some people say expect that their child will collect money.
Okay, so there's this questions we usually get that do they pay citizens like children born there some amount every month? Yes, they do, right? US does that. I think I'm sure of US, I'm sure of Canada.
Mm.
But the thing is there's a caveat. There's a
Yes.
but. The but is that the parents must be taxpayers. Like
Yes.
you must be earning and
Yeah.
they are taxing you.
Yes, in Canada. You must be living in
Yes, before they
Canada
can be paying
before they
that
can pay
child.
your child.
Yes.
So for now, our children are not collecting any money. So it's until maybe we decide to go back to Canada to live there permanently. Yes,
Yeah.
that's when they'll start paying our
Exactly.
kids. Yes.
Exactly. So
So
what
how
final
was your
thought?
experience traveling back home on the
My
plane?
experience. I was scared. Let me not even like I was anxious, like traveling with a newborn. I think that would be another content on its own. Traveling with a newborn. I read all the things I could read. I went online to search for watch YouTube videos
Mm,
to see what can I do. So one of the things that really helped, right? I think we did was
mm.
that we told our airlines that we needed bassinets.
I also go bassinet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to tell your airline that you need a bassinet
Mm.
because you can't carry. It was 11 hours trip.
Very long,
It was
more than
more than 18
yeah.
hours.
Mm.
18 hours trip. So the bassinet really helped the child. So
Yeah.
it was just there for a lot of hours while I could also free my
Rest,
hand and
yes. I
rest and
also got a
sleep.
bassinet. For my case, I was lucky.
You got help.
I
I
got
wanted to
help.
say that. Also pray for help because people love children. And one thing I've also realized during my, I told you that there was a preamble travel. I
Yeah,
traveled from Alberta to Toronto, so
yeah.
that was like a rehearsal. I just
Mm.
wanted to see how it would look
That
like
was why
traveling.
that was why I left. I
Yes,
traveled from Brampton to
to
Ottawa as
see how
well.
it would look.
Yes, yes.
So the 4 hours trip got help. Going to Nigeria too, the people that sat beside me, the
Mm,
first flight, the
mm,
second
mm.
flight, people are just wonderful.
I got help too. I
Yes,
got
help.
help too.
Hmm. Okay, so
For me, I when I was at the airport, I got to the airport like 3 hours before my flight because I don't want to miss my flight. Who has millions to pay for? So
were you
I got
excited to be coming back?
ah was so excited. Like I was so happy. Number one, I wanted my
Husband.
husband to meet my child.
Yeah.
To be honest, I had missed my husband. I've been
Oh,
away for
oh
four
my
months.
god.
Then I just needed help. I know
Yeah.
that nannies and everybody are just waiting for me at home, so
Yeah.
I just needed to go back home. That's all. So I was so happy. I was at the airport waiting to be called, and I just saw somebody that
You know.
I know.
Wow. That's
Guys,
beautiful.
God answers prayers
Yes, it
because
does. It does.
the last time I saw this man was like maybe 6 7 years ago, and
Wow.
just like that I just saw him. Why are you here? What are you here for? Where are you going? I'm going to, okay, I'm going to Nigeria. Is this your child? Yes. And that was how he just took over the whole this thing.
Oh.
So he carried my child, and the lady that sat beside me as well, I
Yeah.
think she I don't know. She was in love, so we're just about marriage. She was so happy,
Okay.
so she was also
Helpful.
happy to carry my child. She
Uh,
carried my child all through, and that man. So when we got to Paris, okay, my stepmother was in Paris. What about you?
Amsterdam.
Okay, my stepmother was in Paris. The man also speaks French, so it was helpful because we got to Paris at 9 a.m. and the connecting flight leaves by 9:15 or 9:20.
Really?
I'm telling you, so there was no time. But
Wow.
because he speaks French, so he was
Oh.
speaking French to the immigration officers, La Pala, something like something.
Like something.
And
Oh,
that was how they helped me, and we left.
wow. That's
Yes.
beautiful. So pray for help. It
Yeah, but
actually
guys, pray for
works.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah, God really helped me. I won't
Yeah.
lie, God helped me. Let me even give you another gist.
Mm-hmm.
So, like 2 weeks before I left Canada, I told you we traveled to Ottawa.
Yeah.
So I went to a redeemed church.
Yeah.
That's all. So when we got to I was the last person that got on that plane. So when we got to into the plane, the woman that sat beside me just tapped me on like, Bawoni, Bawoni in English is how are you? I said
Yeah.
I'm fine. Good afternoon. So, don't you know me? I said no, I don't know you. Said I saw you in church
Can
two
you
weeks
imagine?
ago.
Just once that she went to see
Said I
how
saw you
God
in church
works.
2 weeks ago. I said, oh my, I can't remember. I said, something. I came to visit my child. She just put to bed. I said, wow. I said, this is your baby. I said, yes. Let me help you to carry her. Mama, thank
Ah,
you. Take.
thank you.
That was how she helped me with my
Oh,
baby as
that's
well. So
great.
I found help. I really enjoyed my flight. I slept. I enjoyed myself. My baby also slept, and there was
Mm,
bassinet, so we enjoyed ourselves.
awesome. So one last word for
One last thing:
viewers.
when you are traveling, please hold bread
Hold bread,
for
oh.
snacks.
As a
Whether
pregnant woman, right?
even whether you're a pregnant woman or not, I don't know. The food we had on the plane was not just it.
Hmm.
For me, me, Yoruba girl, I like pepper, so it wasn't just it for me. So when I was coming back, I took bread, I took biscuits that I
Yeah.
had in the plane.
Yeah.
Yes, but the rice and whatever they give us on the plane was trash.
Ah,
But the tea and juice were okay, and I also had bread
okay.
to
All right.
complement it.
Yeah, so I hope this content has been helpful for you, whoever comes
Yeah.
across this, and you've gotten value from it. So if you have
Yes.
questions for us, you can, I think, can they come to your DMs? Please expect hundreds of messages.
Feel free to come to my DM. It will
Yeah.
be a pleasure to answer your questions, guys.
Yeah.
For those that are still trusting God for
The child.
your visa, I
Okay.
pray that help will come through for you
Amen.
very soon. For those
Amen.
that are trusting God for fruit of the womb, I pray that God will
Amen.
answer you too
Amen.
speedily in Jesus'
Amen.
name. And for
Amen.
those that are trusting God for life partners, I pray that God will give you that man, that woman,
Amen.
your
Amen.
bone
Amen.
in Jesus' name.
Amen. All right. So I'll leave the Instagram handle and myself, my own Instagram handle on this video. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to subscribe.
Please subscribe. Oh, click the button, subscribe.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, thank you.